War rages across the mortal realms. New alliances are formed while others lie shattered, and the dominant powers ever seek their next conquest. As these two powerful forces prepare to clash, only one will rise victorious when the dust settles. While this and countless other battles rage on, one fact is becoming clear. The season of war has begun. This video is brought to you by the support of our channel members and the FLGS Partners, Warfire Minis, and X-Planet.
Hello and welcome to Season of War! Tonight I am excited to bring you guys another game of Age of Sigmar alongside my buddy Bud.
Hi Jordan.
How are you doing?
Hi everybody.
Yeah. Bud, before we get into the game stuff, you're on a bit of a road trip right now, playing some Warhammer.
I am. I'm on the Warhammer Wellness Tour, hashtag Warhammer Wellness Tour. Basically I decided I'm going to take 3.5 weeks, travel from Winnipeg, which is in the middle of North America, and just travel east and meet up with all my friends from the Warhammer, because like the AOS community is great. Yep. It's fabulous people, and so like just playing games along the way. So this will be like my 4th game that I've played in a week.
Nice.
And I got another 2.5 weeks left, so pretty excited.
Nice, and we have another game planned for tomorrow. That's going to be fun for our channel members, but before we get into that, let's talk about the mission then tonight. So we're playing the Realmstone Cache. So we got just one objective here in the center, small deployment zones for our bigger armies. Yeah. But the interesting thing with this one, obviously hold 1, hold 2, hold more scoring. But at the start of the 3rd battle round, this objective splits into 2 objectives going opposite directions. Yeah. And we have to try and pivot and get to those. So a bit of a wild one, but it should make for a fun game here tonight. Yeah. You're playing your Gloomspite Gitz?
I'm playing my Gitz. They're my spirit animals. So like this stuff is from when the book first came out, like the Skragrod, the Bad Moon spoke to me once. Which at that point I was hooked on Gitz forever. Yep. And I've never played with Stabas before, so fun to try them out with the 9-inch grabbing objectives.
Yep, really good.
Fanatics are just hilarious, so you have to put them in. And apparently, like, I'm playing the Boogeyman army now.
Yes.
So,
the goblins here are the big bad guys tonight. And I'm playing the Bonereapers. Thought it would be a good opportunity to get them on the table. No catapults, unfortunately, tonight to scare away all your goblins.
It was like, it would be interesting to try them out to see how much of my army was left after
a shooting phase.
Shooting phase, but you know.
Yeah, not tonight, but we do have some great tools. But Bud, do you want to jump in and take us through your list?
Sure. I am playing Jaws of Mork, which, as any good Squig player would do, which gives you +1 attack on the charge with his Squig units. I've got the Luneboss on Mangler Squig. He's got the Squig Whisper to give the +1 to hit and wounds for the mount. And the Clammy Cowl just to make him a little more survivable with that -1 to hit. We've got Skragrot, Dalun King to get that moon out to give more run-in charges to people, some 4-up rallies, and he knows the whole lore now.
So good.
Yeah, and he's got a pretty good lore spell.
Yes, he's got a great spell.
Yeah. I've got a Loon Boss, just a Galatian Champion is pretty good. He gives out the 6s to hit do mortals. I have the old Scar Stick, the Loon Boss with Giant Cave Squig, and honestly, I really love the model. I'm not sure he's that great, but the chance to eat a 6-wound hero is just too good to pass up. And he can make the Stabas a little braver if you eat a couple and increase their bravery by 3. Yep. The Squig Boss is apparently he's the superhero of this list now.
He's got his mushrooms.
Yeah, he can make your Squig herds move in the hero phase once per battle, and he's got his mushrooms, which giving an extra attack or 6s to hit do mortals when you got a unit of Squig herds where you could easily get them up to 4 or 5 attacks. So.
Yeah, very solid.
Yeah, and Sneaky Stufflers, giving a 5-up ward to Squigs is amazing. And oh yeah, I got the cheeky little Madcap in there. Nice. For a little itchy nuisance and trying to make you fight last.
Yeah, and Unit 10 Bounders.
10 Bounders.
Nice.
Yeah, Bounders hit hard now.
They're like eels of 2.0.
Yeah.
They're nuts. Yeah, and a lot cheaper.
And a lot cheaper, and they look better.
Yeah.
I hate eels.
Have to disagree with you there.
Okay.
Awesome though. On my end, I'm, as I said, playing Ossiarch Bonereapers. Petrifex Elite, no surprise there because it's just so much better than the other sub-factions. Yeah. And when you're playing an army that's a bit behind the curve, you take every little thing
advantage you can.
Yeah. And here tonight, very different than 2.0. I've got 2 big blocks of, or sorry, not 2.0, but the last GHB. 2 big blocks of Mortet Guard, 2 30 blocks. Obviously, just super tanky, and I have the recursion, especially backed up by a Gothazar Harvester that should hopefully give me some good staying power, despite how big and evil all the goblins are.
Big evil Gitz.
Yeah.
Things we never thought we'd say.
Yeah, exactly. And then otherwise, I have 2 units of Stalkers, just the 3 because they only have 1-inch range. I didn't want to do the battalion to give them the GV rule, so the minimum 3s is just easier to manage in combat. Then for heroes, I have Arcal the Black, knows the whole spell lore. I have a Bone Shaper, who's my general, and he has the sub-faction command trait and artifact. And then I have the Soul Mason as another little wizard. Unfortunately, though, he's not a Galatian champion because his little bipedal throne is considered a mount.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Disappointing there, but I'll have at least the 1 champion. And that's everything for my list here.
Not a lot.
Not a lot, but a lot of bodies, hopefully a lot of recursion.
Yep.
But nothing, a lot of points invested into those 2 big blocks. But I was all wrapped up in a battle regiment here, so just 1 drop. Bud, you had 4.
I had 4. I needed that command entourage for the double triumph.
Yeah, oh, that's fair. And it did put us in a position, obviously, where I don't have choice. And, well, I'm honestly tempted to, throw 60 Mortet on the center objective. I'm going to give you first turn, Bud.
Okay.
And we'll jump into round 1, and Gloomspite Gitz, turn 1.
Here we go.
As the bad moon rises in the northwest, the Gloomspite battle tactic is cunning maneuver. The Squig Boss uses heroic leadership, and the Bone Shaper uses relentless leadership. The Madcap Shaman casts Mystic Shield on the Stabbas, and Scragrot casts Hand of Gork on the Bounders. The Squig Boss feeds yellow Lurkas to the Squid Herd, but the Snuffler's Shrooms are no good. The Squig Boss uses at the double. Don't forget, we still have our campaign going to get our Beasts of Chaos army painted. Toss over a super thanks if you want to chip in. Rushing the center objective, the Gitz complete their battle tactic and score 4 points.
Okay, so I was being cautious, just trying to get onto the objective. I had to make sure that I got my Loon Boss on there. You don't want to forget, or Squig Boss.
Yep.
Just to get that champion on. The Bounders, I got Hand of Gork off, and I thought maybe of trying to put them in the corner, but I figured that was too easy a charge.
Too close.
Yeah, too close for you to just go in. Like, really their value is when they charge. And so just putting this threat out here, if I win priority, you have to worry about that they're going to be coming in. I'm not convinced of my strategy right now. I'm a little nervous about your magic phase, but I'm really curious to see what happens when these armies collide.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be interesting. And we've been talking about it. I haven't yet seen the squids in action, the squid herd at least. So I'm super excited. Also a little scared.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun.
So, and I didn't want to commit them first. I figured make you go through the Stabbas first with their -1 to hit, and then get a counterattack. But it's all going to depend on, I guess, what you're doing here and how much you delete with your fancy magic.
I mean, we'll see. Yeah, and I guess we can just jump into it.
Let's do it.
OBR turn 1.
primed to showcase their martial prowess, the Bonereapers' battle tactic is Cunning Maneuver. The Soul Mason uses Necromantic Mastery, and the Squig Boss uses Heroic Leadership. The Bone Tithe Nexus targets Scragrot with its Punishment of Ignorance. Arcan uses First of the Monarchs, and 1 unit of Stalkers use Hunt and Kill. Sounds sinister. The Soul Mason miscast Soul Guide, but the Bone Shaper casts Reinforced Battle Shields. Arcan has Curse of Years, Empowered Nadirite Weapons, and Drain Vitality all unbound. One unit of Mortec and Stalkers use Unstoppable Advance. At the start of the charge phase, the Loon Smashes deploy using Release the Fanatics. Adopting their precision aspect and using Bludgeon, the Stalkers deal 5 damage to the Stabbas. The Loon Boss uses All-Out Attack on the Stabbas, who deal 5 damage to the Stalkers. The Stabbas use Inspiring Presence. Unable to push back the goblins, the Bonereapers fail their battle tactic and score, no points.
OBR turn 1 was a bit lackluster. We saw who the real dominant caster is on the battlefield.
That's right.
And it definitely was not Arcan.
He's definitely under the light of the bad moon.
Yeah, so I got 1 spell off, actually, the Reinforced Battle Shields.
The one I gave you.
Yes, you didn't try to unbind. So gracious of you. But I maybe got a little greedy in terms of trying to make a charge with these Mortec. I didn't really do the math of bodies. And even these Mortec over here, I could have positioned more on the objective, but in the end, you're taking the objective by probably like 10 bodies worth of models, and had I have run these Mortec, I'm at least getting, another 2 inches. So I, because they have +1, so I could probably have 5 more on there. Yeah. I could have easily, with their move, I could have positioned another 5 on there and had a good chance at taking the objective. So maybe got a little greedy wanting the charge here. If I had made it, would have been great getting to start doing damage early. I did get the big guys, the Stalkers in, but on their own, they can't really take a punch. So I lost only 1, but it's more than I want to. So.
No, if I'm losing 5 goblins and you're losing a Stalker, I'm considering that a win.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we each took 5 damage that round, so in the end, and that's
Yeah, and here the 9 inches for the Stabbas, I don't have to get everyone on the objective to count. So.
Yeah, exactly. So the whole unit is effectively contesting it. And not getting sold right off meant I wasn't confident going with the extra damage aspect with the Stalkers, so went for the rerolls for the consistency, got 5 damage through. If I didn't have the rerolls, I rolled 4 extra hits there, so I could have been doing only 1 or 2 hits through rather than 5, and it's 4 damage. Probably would have mathed out about the pretty similarly. Yeah,
I feel like that magic phase was a pretty big deal. It really handicapped you for the rest of the round.
Yeah, and I was hoping to even get Curse of Years on the Squigs. Curse of Years isn't super reliable, but you think over 2 or 3 turns it's going to pop off once, hopefully. But not getting it at all, that's obviously the best way to deal with the herd, right?
Yeah.
Make them all run before you're in combat.
Exactly.
You can. So I wasn't hoping to feel so dependent on priority, but now that I'm 2 points behind and potentially looking at taking some hits, I'm a little bit more nervous.
All right, I got the moon dice.
All right, we'll roll for it.
I got
That's
3.
a 4.
Oh
so,
boy.
OBR, I will win priority, and again, I need to get on the objective and maybe deny you from scoring it next turn. So
yeah,
we'll see if we can do it and jump into OBR turn 2.
Looking to recover from their early blunder, the Bonereapers' battle tactic is gaining momentum. The Soul Mason uses Necromantic Mastery, and the Squig Boss fails Heroic Leadership. The Soul Mason successfully casts Soul Guide this time, but fails in Power Nadirite Weapons. The Bone Shaper casts Reinforced Battle Shields on the Mortek. Arcan casts Mystic Shield, the Bone Tithe Shrieker, and Curse of Years, dealing 1 mortal to the Squig Herd. The Fanatics redeploy, moving 5 inches. The Stalkers use Unstoppable Advance. The Harvester shoots at the Fanatics, killing 1. Fighting first, the Fanatics gain all-out attack from the Loon Boss, but only deal 2 damage to the Mortek. Damn, that crawler makes them tanky. The Stalkers adopt their precision aspect and deal 4 damage to the Stabas. Skragrott fights next, dealing 3 damage to the Mortek. The Mortek use Bludgeon and attack back, killing 6 Stabas and dealing 5 damage to Skragrott. Whoa, that was close. The Stabas have to split their attacks and deal only 2 damage in total. The second unit of Mortek use Bludgeon and take out the Fanatics. Also tagged in combat, the Squig Herd attack the Mortek, killing 4. The Stabas use Indomitable Triumph. Re-establishing their presence, the Bonereapers complete their battle tactic and score 4 points.
Bonereapers turn 2. More effective than last turn. Curse of Years did 1 mortal wound this turn.
1 mortal wound. And what did Jordan learn this turn?
Squigs are 2 wounds. Yep. Didn't realize that. So there's a lot more wounds there than I thought. Honestly, I was like thinking Curse of Years, if I pop off at 10, that's 10 dead, fleeting and battle shock. But the fact that they are 2 wounds, it's even that much harder to force big battle shocks. But here I was hoping I could have forced a big battle shock or a decent battle shock on your Stabas, but the fact that you have the Triumph lets you auto-immune and pass that, so Bone Tithe Shrieker didn't have an impact in that regard, but the +1 to hit was big. Yeah. It affected all your units, so I was +1 to hit across the board. Helps mitigate the nets, but I actually diverted a bunch of attacks over here to take out the Fanatics for my battle tactic, and then actually at that end, I made such a big charge with my Mortek. Rolled boxcars, got the +1. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I can get a couple into Scraggy. Got 4 into him, did like a bunch of damage. And
9 of 10, you said?
Yeah, because I got extra attacks from exploding, and then I made 9 of 10 wound rolls on a 4-up. Yeah. And you made enough wards to keep him alive.
I made the 4 I needed. I made the 4 I needed.
Which, on average, he was going to live, but it's just so close to being. It would have been nice to take him down, but he survives here. And you're gonna have a chance to smack back now.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not crazy about where I'm positioned and what I want to. I was actually disappointed that my squigs were within 3 here, that they got pulled in.
And on the opposite side, I was happy, right? Like
yeah.
I'm comfortable with that.
I had other plans for them, let's just say.
Yes, well, I was expecting a double move around the back, so
we're on the same page.
Yeah, very happy to have them tied up. That's where we're sitting, so...
Moon's in the middle of the table.
Yep.
By the way, we rolled that after,
so
and it's sitting right there, and it might be there for round 3.
Oh well, it will be. It was Strygrod.
Don't want to bury the lead, but here we go.
Yeah, we'll jump into Gloomspite Gitz, turn 2.
Yeah.
With the bad moon fully ascended, the Gloomspite battle tactic is Moonlight Raid. The Squig Boss uses heroic leadership and heroic willpower to unbind the Bone-Tithe Shrieker, and the Soul Mason uses relentless leadership. The Madcap has Itchy Nuisance unbound, and Scrygrot fails Fangs of the Bad Moon and Arcane Bolt. The Squig Boss feeds yellow Lurkas to the Squid Herd, but the Snuffler Shrooms fail again. They might want a new supplier. The Bounders use At the Double to move 16 inches. The Loon Boss on Mangler deals 5 mortals on impact, and the Bounders deal 2 more. The Mangler roars the Mortec, then uses Bite the Moon. The Mangler fights first, dealing 8 damage to the Mortec. Those Mortec then attack the Bounders, taking down 3. The Bounders fight next, dealing only 2 damage back to the Mortec. That Harvester is so OP. The Stalkers adopt their precision aspect and kill 12 Stabbas. Poor little gobbies. The Squig Herd attacks and just deals 5 damage to the Mortec, who had used Shield Wall. Fighting back, the Mortec deal 2 damage to the Squigs. The Stabbas use Inspiring Presence, then 2 Bounders and 4 Squigs flee from Battle Shock, which deals 1 mortal and flips the objective. Wildly hopping their way to success, the Gitz complete their battle tactic and score 4 points. Oh my god, I'm so tired.
Okay, so this was a crazy turn.
Yeah, a crazy ending for sure.
Yeah, so I picked, what did I pick? Oh, I picked the Gloomspite one. I needed to control an objective and have all the units contesting it under the light of the bad moon. Moon's in the middle, so it's going table wide right now. Magic was nothing, and so I got a bunch of charges off. I committed the Bounders now, got them in. Fortunately, I got enough of a charge that I could get some of the guys on the objective and curl around. The Mangler, and they came in as well and did a bit of damage. The Mangler actually didn't hit nearly as hard. I rolled a lot of 1s on that. Yeah,
and the odd save here on your 6 damage.
Yeah.
Or your D6 damage.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
And you're just rolling so many dice, Jordan.
Yeah, and well, we are seeing some of the resiliency we were talking about of like Mortec that this used to be super oppressive. They're like, I have a 4-up, 3-up save, reducing run by 1.
Yeah.
Rerolling saves. Now the roar was actually big on the 1 unit. Let you chew through them a little faster, but rerolling saves and then a 4-up to bring more dice back.
Yeah.
That's big.
So what it came down to, we figured out that we both had 38 on the objective.
Yeah, so we were tied. Which would have meant I held it.
Yep. But so then we went to, okay, so Battle Shock on the Squigs. They only have Bravery 3. I rolled a 6 and I'd lost 1 model. So 4 guys run away.
Yep.
I'm putting 3 mortal wounds back on you because they're running away. And it was just like one of those like Hail Mary things.
To get the objective. But, I mean, with 3 mortals, I ignored 1 from the 5 up because I have reinforced battle shields.
Yeah.
And then came to the 4 up. I had to make 2 4-ups and I would keep it. Denying 4 points for this turn. Mm-hmm. Made the first one, but not the second 4-up. So
it was huge because without seeing that, I just let the stabbers run away and try to bring them back at the end of the turn.
But in hindsight, we were trying to talking it through as we were doing it. It's like, okay, keep the stabbers around so that if you get that, it was worth the shot.
Yeah. So it was just a lot of wild interactions that happened there.
Yes. Yeah, quite a few. But again, it could have been a 0-point turn. Mm-hmm. One wound off, 1 model off. Yeah. So close one, but you knew going into it that was going to be a tough one to take.
I knew trying to get more models on the objective than you was going to be very tough.
Yeah. But you'll store the 4 points then, so maximum there, and let's see where the objective explodes first.
Okay.
Because that's happening.
Here we go.
So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the middle.
Okay.
1, 2. So that corner and this corner.
Okay.
So pretty defensive for both of us, actually.
No kidding.
We'll measure those up off camera, but we can jump into priority roll next.
Okay, I'm using the moon dice,
nice.
Eugene.
I got the party at the all points.
Oh no, don't use it against me. I rolled a 2.
I rolled a 1.
Okay.
I tried to use it against you.
Yeah.
You betrayed me.
I think that was really good.
Yeah.
I think I have to take it.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll jump into Gloomspite Gitz, turn 3.
Eager to show the constructs who's boss, the Gloomspite battle tactic is desecrate their lands. Skragrott fails heroic leadership, and the Bone Shaper uses relentless leadership. Slightly late, 3 fanatics return from the Loon Shrine, and Skragrott uses the Loon King and Treaty. The Madcap has Itchy Nuisance unbound, and Skragrott has Hand of Quark unbound, but deals 2 mortals to the Stalkers with Fangs and a Bad Moon. The Squig boss feeds yellow Lurkas to the Squig herd, who then return all 5 Squigs. The Loon Boss on Mangler uses Forward to Victory and makes his charge. The Mangler fails Smash to Rubble, and Arcan uses Titanic Duel. With little effort, the Loon Boss on Mangler takes down Arcan. The Stalkers adopt their precision aspect and bludgeon, killing the Loon Boss and Cave Squig. The Mortek use Shield Wall as a Squig herd attack, dealing 5 damage to the Stalkers and 5 to the Mortek. Fighting back, the Mortek deal 14 damage to the Squig herd. 7 Squigs then flee to Battle Shock, dealing 3 mortals to the Harvester. Taking down the Mortek of Sacrament, the Gitz complete their battle tactic and score 3 points.
Okay, wow.
Yep.
A few things happened here. I retreated a couple of things out of combat, just setting up for next turn. I was able to bring back 3 Loon Smashes. At the end of last turn, I rolled the 4 up. And yeah, retreating the Bounders out, I think that's going to help me out in the long term. The big thing was being able to run in charge with the Mangler. He's got the base 10.
Moved 18.
Ended up moving 18 with the run. He can run and charge. I failed my first charge, actually. I had to use the CP, but I got him in, and the Mangler just lifts things.
Yeah, he smacked Arcane around pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't even get to the balls and chains or the Grot Bastion sticks. Like, sometimes we want those little Grot guys to feel good about themselves and let them get the last wound. I threw in a Loon Boss in there. I'm not sure why. I think it was just to eat attacks from your stalkers there. But he's dead. He's gone. Didn't get to attack. And then the Squigs did some damage, did some more when a bunch of guys ran away. But we've got half the unit that we started with.
Yeah. And during my turn or your turn, when I was attacking, kind of talking through it, came to the realization that I had spent last turn and this turn trying to mitigate your damage.
Yeah.
But when I have the 5-up spell ignore or the 5-up ignore on them with the spell, and then the 4-up, that's what I should have been. And I ended up doing it in this turn, starting to try and chew into them because I'm not taking as much damage as I could be.
Yeah, and honestly, like I've kind of I've been maximizing my front pretty much. Like at the front, at the start I was kind of pinched. I'm able to spread out more, but even with all those attacks, I lifted one of the stalkers, but like you still got a lot of that Mortec guard there, and it's almost like ripping off a band-aid. You just have to expect a bunch of Squigs are going to run away and do mortal wounds. You do have some of the tech to handle that, and just like get them off now. Hope they don't come back from the Loon Shrine.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah. The other thing was I tried to turn off the Nexus to get Scragrot back to his regular casting and binding. I rolled a 1 for that, so that's bad.
Yes. Yeah, not the best for you. Hopefully we can make you pay for it.
Yeah.
But you will get 3 points here.
I did,
So you tactic in one objective, but we're not done yet. Arcane might be gone, but we're still here. So we're going to go into Ossiarch Bonereapers, turn 3.
Yeah.
With their resources dwindling, the Bonereapers' battle tactic is eye for an eye. The Soul Mason uses Necromantic Mastery and Scragrot fails Heroic Recovery. Bounders rally but return no models. Wow, guess they should make it a 3-up. The Bone Shaper has Arcane Bolt Unbound. The Soul Mason casts Mystic Shield on the Mortec, then Soul Guide on the Stalkers and Harvester. The Stabbers redeploy, moving 3 inches. The Harvester uses Reckonate Constructs and heals 2 wounds. The Harvester then shoots at Scragrot and takes him out. No! The Harvester roars the Loon Boss on Mangler, who in turn roars the Stalkers. The Stalkers adopt their precision aspect and deal 10 damage to the Mangler. The Loon Boss on Mangler fights next, dealing 4 damage to the Crawler. The single Stalker deals 4 damage to the Squig Herd. The Mortec use Shield Wall as the Stabbers attack, dealing 1 damage. The Mortec fight next, killing 2 Fanatics and 2 Stabbers. The other Mortec unit also uses Shield Wall as the Squig Herd attacks, but deals just 3 damage. The Harvester fights and takes down the Loon Boss on Mangler. Next, the Mortec Guard deal 4 more damage to the Squig Herd. Finishing off combat, the lone Fanatic deals 3 damage to the Mortec, then the fleeing Squigs take out the last Stalker. With their hardening bone blunting the Squig's teeth, the Bonereapers complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
OBR turn 3 was honestly like, Archaon's gone, but I think that was my best turn yet. Didn't even need him. I got the Stalkers and Harvester in to take out the Mangler, which was fortunate. You know, I couldn't, you were hitting the Harvester first, but didn't take him out, so let me finish off the Mangler.
Yeah, I was on my worst profile, so with, I think I was hitting on 4s with my gobs, which is really different than 2s, apparently.
Yes, yeah, not quite as good. And the Harvester was the MVP because he also shot off Striderot in the shooting phase, dealing the last damage to the little guy who failed 2 heroic recoveries in a row.
I know, and I needed just that 1 4-up because you only got 1 shot through.
Yes, yeah. Over here, it's kind of like been a bit of a stalemate. Again, slowly grinding down the squids. A little faster than I'm losing guys, so that's okay, but them running away took out a Stalker. And then over here, the Mortec unit, I brought a couple guys back and then moved and charged and strung a big circle around the fanatics so that you didn't get to fight at the start of the phase. And then I could pile in and fight first, even though I was still -1 hit. I did enough to take the objective actually by 1 model again, so coming very close. Which gives me a good turn of scoring here, putting me on 5 points.
Failing the 5 4-ups on the Bounders to, like the whole point of retreating them was to keep them under the moon, being able to rally on a 4-up. See, 4-up rallies are not overpowered, Vince.
Yeah, they're all right. They're all right.
They're all right.
But we'll jump into another priority going into turn 4.
Here we go. 2.
That's a 6. We got the Chaos dice.
All right, and we'll roll for the moon. See where he goes. Oh, he moves.
Okay, so it's over here.
Never trust the moon.
Yep. No more 4-up rallies.
No more 4-up rallies.
It's all coming up OBR right now, so we'll keep the momentum rolling and jump into Ossiarch Bonereapers, turn 4.
Winning the battle of attrition, the Bonereapers' battle tactic is desecrate their lands. The Bone Shaper uses relentless leadership and the Squig Boss uses heroic leadership. The Bounders rally, returning 1 model. The Soul Mason fails in Power Nadirite weapons and has Mystic Shield unbound. Lastly, the Bone Shaper casts Reinforced Battle Shields on the Mortec. The Stalkers use Unstoppable Advance, then the Bounders redeploy, moving 3 inches. The Harvester shoots at the Squig Herd, dealing just 1 damage. The Fanatics fight at the start of combat and deal 1 damage to the Mortec. The Stalkers use their Precision Aspect and Bludgeon and take out all the Bounders. The second unit of Mortec also use Shield Wall, and the Squig Herd deals just 4 damage to them. The Mortec attack back, dealing 10 damage to the Squig Herd. The Stabbas pile in and deal 1 damage to the Mortec, who kill the Fanatics and 4 Stabbas in return. Taking control of the battlefield, the Bonereapers complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
Bonereapers turn 4. This has been a good back and forth battle, but that was another turn of, I think, pulling a bit ahead. There was...
You had just about everything right you needed to go right this turn.
Yeah. Namely here, the biggest one was the Stalkers. That was like your biggest threat left on the board.
Yep, by far.
The Squigs are a threat, but they were just tied up with the Mortec, and they're not winning that battle.
Yep.
They're slowly losing it. So that was actually... I made a huge 12-inch charge there to get them into combat. Yeah, and rolling a loon dice, or like a bad moon dice, and a party at the all points dice.
It was double. It hit. If I was a Space Marine, it hit both my hearts.
Yep.
Drink.
Yep. But so that they ended up taking them out. The Mortec there are just again also winning that attrition battle on your objective. So winning prio, taking the turn, lets me to kind of just reinforce the objectives. Yeah. Score again is the big one.
And leaving that one squig there.
Yeah, so 5 died, 5 fled, 1 squig's left.
Yeah.
Which means you're not bringing them back. I mean, you potentially still bring them back at the end of your turn.
Yep. And that was, yeah, I mean, they're still potentially dying.
Yeah. Because you just leave him in combat so he dies at this point.
Yeah, the big thing was like when you rolled that 12, because I'd redeployed 3 out. It's like I figured, okay, he's got a bit of a.
We were looking for 7, so and I have no reroll in OBR, right? So.
I said darn. I said darn when that happened.
Yeah, that was a big one. And also the moon has turned its back on you as well. So.
That's normal.
Yeah.
You kind of expect that.
At some point, yeah, fair enough. That's it for OBR, and we'll jump into Gloomspite Gitz.
Here we go. Time to turn the game back.
Yes, sir.
Desperately hoping to snatch an underhanded victory, the Gitz battle tactic is Glory Grabbers. The Squig Boss uses heroic leadership and their finest hour, and the Bone Shaper uses relentless leadership. The Madcap Shaman fails to cast Mystic Shield, but the Snufflers finally give some good shrooms to the Squig Boss. Just remember, kids, don't do drugs. The Squig Boss uses solid attack and kill 2 Mortek Guard. The Mortek fight back, dealing 2 wounds to the Squig Boss. The lone Squig deals no damage, then the Mortek Guard deal 11 damage to him. You're such a jerk. Failing to bring up a unit from the lair, the Gitz fail their battle tactic and score no points.
Well, unlike Jordan, who likes to say, oh, OBR had everything go right for them, not so much for the Gitz. I didn't have a lot on the table, but I did get my Squig Boss charged up, gave him finest hour. I rolled a 6 with the Snuffler, okay, so that did go right.
So he got an extra attack.
He got an extra attack and the 5-up ward. Send him in, Moon Cutter, 3 ones.
Yeah.
Okay. And I needed a 4-up to get my battle tactic, which, I mean, I knew it was a 50
gamble, but
I knew it was a 50-50 chance.
That was the best. That was the only option you had, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's one of the things I like about that role. People are like, oh, you can bring back half your squigs. That's so broken. It's like, it's on a 4-up.
And at the end of the turn, so it's like not in the movement phase, like with a potential charge.
Yeah.
Like we talked about before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's perfectly balanced. So. Yeah, I mean, I had a chance at getting 4 points this turn, and I ended up getting 0. Because even I had a chance, if I kill 1 more model, I get the objective there.
Yep. So close.
So close.
And then 10 Mortek Guard circled around the last Squig and just literally bludgeoned him
I
to
told
death.
you not to roll it, and he was like, I have to roll it, I have to.
Yeah, so that was a little bit of viciousness.
Yeah, you were angry.
Yeah, those squids hurt me. We can jump into a turn 5 priority.
Here we go. I rolled a 1.
That's a 4.
Okay, and the moon stays where it is.
Here. At this point, we can probably just talk it out.
Yes. Unless you want to roll all the dice to bludgeon me.
I'm okay. So. In this regard, because I win priority, it's just going to let me score first.
Yep.
I backed the Mortek out to hold down to the objective.
Yep.
And I put the Harvester. I can go with the little hero, but I don't need to, and bring over the Mortek Guard just to consolidate on this one as well. So that would give me the. Actually, a tactic is a good point. I may not have a tactic at this. And yeah, looking at it, I actually have the OBR one, the Tithe Demands, where I just have to kill a hero. And conveniently, there's this little Squig hero.
Yeah.
So between the Mortek and the Harvester, I think I would be able to do that.
Yeah.
Which would give me the 5 points. And going into your turn, you would have Stab him in the dark is an option.
Yeah.
So assuming you could
swing a little better than I did last turn.
if the possibility is there for you to do it, and if you score 3 points, it's, you know.
Yeah.
The lead is there.
So you're saying there's a chance of scoring that.
Oh yeah. And then looking at grand strategies, I would fail mine. I think it's called Unrelenting Efficiency.
Yeah.
It's one of the OBR ones. Neither of my Mortec units are at their maximum, so I won't get that one. And you had to take what's theirs, and it's actually really hard on this deployment.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's such a small zone.
Yeah. And as soon as I lose my bounders and my hand to Gork, it limits my ability to get to the other side of the board.
Yeah. It's always fun looking back. I would love to see an alternate reality if you take that prio and get to send the bounders in, because it's the opposite, right? How different this game could have gone. Mm-hmm. Or similarly, you're getting into the Mortec unit before it's getting a chance to snake over onto your objective.
Yeah.
But it's a really close game for the majority of it. We were tied at the end of round 3.
Yeah, round 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it was super interesting game. I've only had one chance to play OBR, so not really experienced Petrifex Elite. So being able to see that was really cool, and just it is obnoxious how much they can soak, how much damage they can soak up, and
when they have everything that they need, or all the pieces together. Yeah.
So I thought getting Arcan would take away a lot of, I maybe should have sent the Mangler straight into the Harvester when he was fully up, and taken away some of that.
The Harvester, that's definitely a big one. You think the amount of wounds that he brought back throughout this game was probably 20 wounds?
Yeah, at least.
Throughout the game, so definitely makes a difference there. But guys, as we did, we hope you enjoyed that match as well. It was a blast to play, so hope you stuck with us to the end. Either way, guys, thank you so much for watching. Bud, thanks for coming for the game.
Thanks, Jordan.
And we'll see you guys soon in another video.